tips on this. First is figure out your own financial situation first, especially if you're coming out of school dealing with like your student loans are fine. You can have student loans and still start a business. If you have a ton of like credit card debt and all these other things that you're going to be responsible for, I think it is important to sort of understand your own financial situation first. Despite all of the things that you may hear, yes, it's a lot cheaper to start businesses now than it was 10 years or 15 years ago, but it still costs money to do it, and it might not be a lot of money, but it still could be $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, depending on the type of business or industry you're in. So you can't just start it for nothing and actually have yourself look like you're a professional business. But given that, I think there are a couple different, there's resources here. There's peer-to-peer lending sites some of you guys may have heard of. Prosper, Virgin Money, if you just Google peer-to-peer financing, you can find that, especially since bank loans and things like that are pretty tight right now. Family and friends with a big asterisk next to them, because that's very cautionary in terms of borrowing money. But the other thing, despite the fact that we're all talking about entrepreneurship, is to have a corporate job and to moonlight. Like my business, I haven't gone into debt to build my business and to pay for things because I have a job. So if there are things that I need to plan for, I need to get my website redone, or I need to get this logo done, then that means I need to be taking, some of that money and setting it aside and saving it and planning for it. So it's not the worst thing in the world to start out and get some corporate experience and sort of plan your business and be saving to start it. So those are just a couple of ideas.
I love Donielle's answer about getting corporate experience. I had years and years and years in the corporate world before going out and doing my own thing. Granted, I started when I was a child. But I actually did. I started at a public company when I was 19, a large public company. So I had a chance to get a lot of experience from a pretty young age doing that. But my advice about some creative funding is put something on sale. We all have some unique skill that nobody else has, and why not go ahead and sell that to fund what it is you want to do. I like to play these games, finance games, with my businesses. The finance game that I played with this current business was how do you start a business without putting $1 into it. And so I started off with a sale. I had no logo, I had no brand, I looked completely unprofessional, but who is to judge me if I'm offering them something on sale and it's good? So I offered a sale up to people and ended up getting tons of respondents to that sale. And my initial sale is what funded my business. So I brought in a whole bunch of clients at a ridiculously discounted rate, knowing that they can't judge me for not having a logo, because I was upfront about the fact that I haven't actually founded this business and I don't even know if I'm going to. If this works out, maybe we'll move forward. So put something on sale, fund your business that way. Oh yeah, and I sold my car.
Sell anything.
I've sold all kinds of things to fund businesses in the past. Jewelry, watch, car, whatever it took. If you really care about your business and about being an entrepreneur, the proof's in the pudding, and you have to be willing to give things up to make hard choices. And I sold a watch that I really didn't want to sell. It happens.
Keep it legal though, don't sell anything.
Yeah. You can't sell on eBay legally. So I don't want to hear about anybody selling their liver or anything like that.
Interesting. Okay. So I have a few ideas just to share. I think there's various type of business that could be, I think maybe part of you is interested in VC funding. I'm sure that you can talk more about it and talk about like the VC world. But I got a few tips just by talking to actually some angels a couple of weeks ago. First off, I think you guys have to think about, if you're looking for VC funding, VCs and angel investors, they want to put their money somewhere. Don't think that they are just, they want to invest something good, like a good idea. There is a potential for them to get their money back. So I had a meeting with this guy, and it was the other way around, because I was always curious, like how does this work? But now I run an entrepreneur group, so he was asking me, hey, do you know of any good deals? Like if you do, let me know. I'm like, oh wow, okay. Of course I'll let you know but what makes it a good deal? So we have a very long conversation. But what makes me realize is even the investors, they want good deals as much as we want to sell them. So don't worry that there's some foreign people, because they are not. They're like normal human beings. Another thing, my suggestion, if you're going after VC funding, hang out with people already got funding. So like this one, right? Just like because they're like bankers, like they want good deals, right? So once they actually fund the one company, they probably trust Annie already. So if you're actually a friend of hers, or if you know through a person already being funded, in a way it's a lot easier for you to get to them because you're being referred by someone trusted. Of course, you do have to have a good idea, right? Another thing, if you're in a tech world, which I've been very, very lucky, is that you just partner, you don't have money to hire resources. Let's say you really just have no money, right? Found a co-founder, hopefully a good one, as developers. So, and boom, all the development cost is gone because this person is part of the company. So that's another idea. But my marketing side of the business is I actually had no companies, no pricing, no company names when I first sold the whole marketing consulting. I teach a class and I call my developer friends. I say, hey, I'm just going to mention we have a company. And I teach the class, and after the class, 4 people came to me and said, you're hired. And I'm like, great, then put a deposit down. And then I go and start a company. So sell it first. If you have a good idea, find a customer, act like you already have it, and then get those seed money that way, and then you can bootstrap it and make it happen.
I'd say start with something that you can handle. And you might need to trim your idea down to make it something that you could actually pull off. My example is we started with the internet with Facebook because we knew we would need a lot less resources to actually get off the ground because all you need is a computer and programming knowledge if you happen to have that or know somebody does. And Facebook, for example, a lot of the marketing and distribution is built right in, which kind of helped us get off the ground. And so we got funding because we had traction. So I'd say one way is to identify areas where you can get started with relatively few resources. If you don't have resources available to you, and I think most people starting out don't, and it's really kind of difficult to get into kind of VC level funding until you've either had experienced team or traction with a product or a service that you have. And so we had to build traction first, but to get there we had to identify an area that we had the skills and resources to actually make a prototype and get off the ground without having